Okay, today masterclass tutorial lesson 11. We're going to talk about e-commerce and become a reseller online. How can you become an online seller? An online e-commerce will not be changed with the trends in the market, especially the pandemic situation that people are going mostly online. All depend on what and how you want to do. If you are the freelancer in the market, there are many ways and there are many methods that you can handle the e-commerce. One method, of course, you create a platform and sell other people physical product. It's just like you get a product from whether Amazon or Alibaba, and you can try to promote it into whatever the market is. And one way is Lazada. We thought about Lazada. You buy the product and then you promote it into other places like Amazon and things. I'll go further deep into that and explaining the pro and con of each situation that you will be facing when you are doing all these methods. And of course, the physical product will be much easy. You just sell other people's product. But let's say you sell Amazon product or whether it's Alibaba product, you just create a platform, right, and you promote your product. But the commission is about 5%. Whatever you earn, 5 to 10%, the most is 10%, like they're selling. But the saving is what you don't have to bother about the logistic, the warehouse and everything. Basically, everything is handled by them. Okay, another method with the platform, you also can sell your own product. Selling your own product, good in a way, but either you do it locally, and then it doesn't cost you much about logistic. The logistic is another issue because you have to look for how to deliver the product to the customer. But it can be done easily by you are doing locally. But if you do global, there is another issue that you have to look into the logistic part of it. And this logistic company is not so simple as what we think, because unless you have a huge database, that will be a two different story. But you don't have a huge database. Easily, you just send a product, you say $30 to $40. You compare to Alibaba and Amazon, of course, they have a platform, but they have over billions of customers, or even like Alibaba, they have 2.7 billion. So it's very hard to compare because they got huge database and they can get very better deal from the logistic. Of course, another method, you sell the digital product. Right, digital product is much easy because when you sell digital product, it's basically somebody buy from you, you just download. You save all the trouble. And the same thing, you can sell digital product. You don't have to create your own product. You can become an affiliate to ClickBank, JBizoo, Insure, and other things like other company that they have. You can sell the product. But selling all these digital product can be as high as 50 to 75% commission every time you sell. Okay, that is how you can benefit from the logistic. Many people ask me the same question why they sell digital product is a higher commission. It's very simple because if you have a digital product, you click once, you don't have to reproduce again. But physical product is different. You produce 100, you sell off 100, then you have to produce another 100 again. But digital product, you just do one. You may pay whether a few hundred or $1,000 one time. Then after that, you don't have to reproduce again because the product is there. The digital product is there all the time. This is how we talk about. I will talk more about this when you go along and how you can actually promote digital product, and it's save cost. But in business, we have to think about return of investment. So you cannot big player like people like in the Amazon or Alibaba and things like that. Of course, you can sell your own product, through a thing. All depending how you do it. I have a friend many years ago, and he sell the Matchbox car in the early days, I think more than 20 years ago. When he sell a Matchbox car, he get the car in Malaysia. It costs you less than $10, but he buy, of course, into economic scale, he buy by 1,000. He don't just buy one or two. He buy by 1,000, and then he put it into Amazon or eBay. So-called eBay, where he sell. But of course, even he sell eBay, that time he sell about $20, and then he already make more than what his profit. So it depends on the situation that how you go about. So what I'm learning is from the experience of the past people who did it and things like that. The digital product is another good way of doing it because whatever you start off. But my advice, any newcomer, I would suggest them they do the digital product first, right? Because at the end of the day, you are building your own customer database. And I have a friend in Singapore, I don't mention his name, but he has more than one over millions customer database. The reason why I say this because a lot of people may not understand the situation. They may end up earning here and there. At the end, you don't get it. Okay, let's go on. Okay, where and who is your customer, locally or globally? So when you want to sell a product, whether it's physical product or digital product, you must have customer. If you don't have customer, and then you have a problem here. You got a product but you can't sell, whether your own product or whether you sell somebody. Yeah, because a lot of people say, oh, you can publish in Amazon, you can publish in Alibaba or eBay, but you have to understand, you are putting into a deep ocean, there are billions of people who will see your product. That's another question. Nobody. So if you want to pay advertisement, you may never cover your advertisement cost. Because in terms of advertisement, they talk about the price that you are bidding for and the price you are bidding for. Sometimes you can't compete with those big multinational companies. They can put a very high price, but you lose out to them. Like Walmart and everything. They can just put a product, maybe $50 for people to view or something else. So how much you can put? They can put $100. You can't compete with them, a day. I had gone through this during my early days when I tried out on the AdWords. That time we spent about $800 US a month, but end up I can't even get how much sales, only a few sales. Can't even cover back your ROI. This is one thing that I want to highlight people who ever want to become an online seller. This is the key point that you have to take notes on this. Okay, advertisement online and offline. So they are good and bad. Because where do you advertise? As I said earlier on, you are just like bidding with somebody who put a higher price. Then you will lose out in the market because you will not be in the front page. You will be in the advertisement. You put you in the fifth, even the second page or third page also not very good already. But you can advertise in. You must put into the front page. Everything people do a search. People talk about SEO and people don't understand how, yes, SEO is search engine optimization. But how do you put into your first page? That is important. Because most of the time people spend a lot of money advertising this. They will be in the front page. My own website is in the front page. But that is quite a lot of money that you spend to put yourself in the front page. Otherwise, you are people search. Let's say you just search for a product. There are a lot of people having the same product. Let's say people say, oh, dress or locker or door, whatever. There are people who are doing search. Yes, search. People also do this, but there are a lot of same product. But because your price of advertisement is not in the higher price, that you will be in the second or third page. So people open any browser and even see your product. So the process and the sequence, not many. You spend quite a lot of money on advertisement to put you in the front page, and that is not easy. But of course, on the other hand, how to cover back your ROI. I know that a lot of people talk of buy low and sell high. It's easy to say, but then to done. Question, where is your product? People say, oh, I buy from whatever company it is, and product can be made from China, and then you sell it in Amazon. But I already early mentioned that put your product in Amazon. Or of course, it may attract people, the price is cheaper. But then you end up a lot of problem, what is the refund and all this sort of thing. Then how do you go? When the product doesn't suit what the customer want, then they come back and say, hey, I want a refund. Then when you come to refund, when do you go to? Go to the person who produced the product for you, right? So it's another problem area. So we have to be aware. It doesn't mean that you buy low and sell high. Then you go back to the supplier that you are dealing with. They say, I'm sorry, go do with it. And on the other hand, you got a customer who already bought your product. They want the money back. So you may end up on this sort of situation. So we have to be careful. Not say they are right or wrong, but you have to be careful when we are doing all this. Now, at the end of the day, you still need customers. So our strategy in the marketing sales funnel is basically we build customer database first. And when you build a customer database, whatever product you have, whether it is you want to promote a product locally or globally, if you have a customer database, it's two different things. You can actually don't have to spend money on advertisement. You just spend money onto your own database. That is good enough. So whatever you do, you must have customers. So whether it's networking or whatever, you must have customer. If you don't have customer, who to sell? You don't put yourself into as I said, you're putting in Amazon into a very deep ocean. Nobody even see you, and people also don't know you. Things like that. Can you be trusted or not? Those things. But in a different way, and we build your own customer database. Of course, initially they to know you, right? You added so many added value to them, and then they tend to like like you, they trust you. With the trust, whatever they promote any of the product, them, I don't say it's 100%, but because the trust is there, if I need the product, I'll buy from you. As simple as that. I give you a scenario that in my case, very simple. I buy a lot of product from my own mentor. One of the reasons why, because I trust him. Whatever he want to promote to me, I'll buy from him. Very easy, simple. This scenario is very simple. People trust you, people will buy from you. So I buy a lot of software and everything through him. Sometimes can be his own product, sometimes can be other people's product. So if I buy from other people's product, it's the same thing. The price is still the same. Buy through him also the same. But of course, on the other hand, if I buy through him, I know that he will earn the commission. Very straightforward. So this is the system progressively. So here I'm talking about how you build your customer base. Customer is a king. I give you an example. If you ever build, let's say even 10,000. I have a friend, of course now I just now early mentioned that I don't want to mention his name, but he had more than 1 million. So you can imagine if he already built the relationship, get to know him better, trust him. Even I want to buy the same product from outside, I'll buy through him. I know that I know him very well, I trust him. So that is basically how you look at it. So example that 10,000 customer example, your own database. We don't say that it's 100% will buy from you. Even you get 5% of your 10,000 is good enough. And then of course you don't spend on advertisement costs. We normally spend on advertisement costs is basically we want to build database. Right? I build database through paying something else, but also you must see how you go about it. Don't believe when people say, oh, I sell you $100 for 5,000. That is illegal way of doing it. You know where you get the government? The right method of getting the database is actually the funnel system. You have a landing page, or you have the landing page, and then people come in, give his own name, give his own email, or even phone number. That is the proper way of doing it. So over a year, I have go through this process. I bought not really buy. I just I pay him to get 150 customer database. So you must think about the costing, right? How we build the database, you think about the cost in the first place. I pay him $100 US, and he gave me 150 customer data list. Right. Now how we do it, but of course I must give him a landing page. He just don't pick up anything and just give it to me. No. I give him a landing page. He will take my landing page and promote to his own customer database. I think he got more than 500,000 customer database. I pay him $100. Then he will make sure that I'll get 150 customer database. In fact, he give me more because he gave me about 180, because some may drop out. Sometimes people come in may drop out again. So this is how we safeguard as a friendship. And of course, if you look at, you do a calculate of sum. I pay $100, I get 150. So you work it out, it's about 80 cents per customer, and that is done legally. And these people opt in to your landing page. They give their name and email, so it becomes legally. So if you have a customer base, also can pay money. Paying money from your database. It's the same method that people are doing that. So there are many ways and means how you get your data. So all this I can share with you is through my experience. Gone through the process. In certain cases when people promote, they did something for a company. Example, semi-company and things like that. They say, okay, I'm going to get you, I help you not only build website, because a lot of people misunderstood that, people are promoting, oh, I help you to build a website, but it's not effective. It's not effective. Because why? Because if you talk to a company, what is important, I will help you to build a customer database. You like it. Of course, people want customer, right? So it's a very simple process. When people want customer, that is not about the website. This is about, of course, we need a website. It's just only a basic tools that we are doing it. So if you have, let's say example, you have 10,000 customer database in your own account. Right? Lifelong, don't forget, it's at your asset. So if I say to a customer, I say, okay, I help you to build a database. So what I do, I create a landing page for him. I send his landing page to my own database, and you will see result. Definitely you will see result. And you see result, he will pay you. Same thing, right? So he will pay you for all the system that you're doing. This is what I call the funnel system. So if you understand the funnel system, then it's easy, you can go along to become an online seller. All these things are done in a process of a thing. At the end of the day, it's not about the website. A lot of people don't understand this. Oh, I create a website. And today, I change it in a different manner. I teach my students basically not just to build a website first, because we all know a website, you got a home page, you got about page, you got the product, service page, and all this. That can be easily done. But you don't need to do that. The first thing to do, I would say, do your landing page first. Sometimes they call landing page, opt-in page, quiz page, all these are the same meaning as a landing page. So the next thing, of course, you need to do a download page, then you do an upsell page, all this. So with this is a process. But once you know how to do your landing page, so to build a website, there's no problem already, you can easily. And now I'm providing like a lot of template. Even I provide the template, I say that do your own template. So that's the whole idea. So if you are interested to look into how we created the marketing sales one, you can always contact me. Okay, let's jump into the video part.
E-commerce. We'll be talking electronic commerce. All it is selling a product or a service online. E-commerce has expanded exponentially in recent years and will only continue to do so. And the more it continues, the more it will continue. Small and medium-sized businesses all the way through to large corporations and even independent freelancers have benefited from e-commerce. Their products and services are now so easy to discover and purchase at any hour of any day from almost anywhere in the world. The possibility to scale in this day and age. E-commerce is the fastest growing retail market, so why wouldn't you want to be a part of that? There are loads of benefits to hopping on the e-commerce bandwagon, with e-commerce being electronic. You have a global market. This multiplies your target audience exponentially. You will also choose to your customers and define how to target them with your store. Being online, you're essentially open 24/7, 365 days a year. There's no need to flip that sign on your front door that states open on one side and closed on the other. Customers can purchase your goods all day, any day. You also have the ability to work from anywhere in the world, provided that you have an internet connection. You're also going to require a lower investment and incur reduced costs compared to a physical store. So, who can open an e-commerce store? Anyone really, provided that they have the few essentials to get started. These essentials include a product or service to sell, a place to sell them, a means to process payments, and a marketing strategy to attract customers. Let's discuss each of these a little further. So right off the bat, you're going to need a product or service to sell. You can either make something yourself or you can source it from somewhere else. Some things you want to keep in mind, sure are, do you want to sell your product or service to is this other consumer or is this other businesses? So, who can open an e-commerce store? Anyone really, provided that they have the few essentials to get started. These essentials include a product or service to sell, a place to sell them, a means to process payments, and a marketing strategy to attract customers. Let's discuss each of these a little further. So right off the bat, you're going to need a product or service to sell. You can either make something yourself or you can source it from somewhere else. Some things you want to keep in mind, sure are, do you want to sell your product or service to is this other consumer or is this other businesses? Finally, the cost of your goods and just selling price. You want to price your product at a low enough rate that you remain competitive to similar products on the market. However, you don't want to price yourself too low that you don't make a sufficient profit to keep operating. On the other hand, you don't want to price yourself too high, otherwise, no one will purchase your products, and we don't want that. This is where you influence them. This is where you impact how likely they are to convert from a visitor to a sale and hopefully a repeat sale. So the decision of where you will be selling your goods is one of the most important ones that you will make. Choose wisely. The next thing to think about is how you'll be transacting with customers. This is a really important decision. Your payment provider is someone that needs to be credible and trustworthy, because after all, they are the ones handling your income. Important points to keep in mind here are compatibility with your e-commerce platform, availability in the countries that your business is targeting, the ability to accept payments in different currencies, the fees charged, reliability and repair, voting and usability, and customer support. Some payment process is that we highly recommend our Stripe and PayPal. Like, you need a good marketing strategy to attract your customers. Let's face it, if you don't attract customers to your online store, you aren't going to make sales. It's not like having a physical storefront where people may just stumble upon you. You have to bring your customers to your online store. This area will need a good amount of work. If you're going to be successful, it's also an area that constantly needs to be revisited, reviewed, and adjusted based on what's bringing your traffic and what is not. There are a few areas of focus for this one. Social media. Social media has become a channel of digital influence and is a brilliant tool for building brand awareness. Don't underestimate the power of emails. It is a highly successful tool to keep your audience engaged. You will, however, need to find a balance between keeping your audience educated and informed versus overwhelming them with too many emails. Start working on building your email list. Right from the beginning, there are some great affordable tools out there that can help you. They help you manage the list of your email contacts, segment your email list. They allow you to customize emails, create, save, edit and manage multiple email templates as well as get detailed reports on the effectiveness of each campaign.
Become an online seller. Online commerce is here and is here to stay. It's getting larger and larger. Wouldn't you want to get a nice piece of that pie? The problem with online selling. The problem with most online sellers is that they think they have to do all sorts of things to sell online. This means they have to hang on to inventory, prepay for it, store it in a warehouse, physically handle the stock, deal with returns, refunds, and all sorts of customer support headaches. On top of all this, they face a tremendous amount of competition regardless of their niche. It is no surprise that initial adopters of online stores or early online store builders tended to fail. Fast forward to today. Now, more online sellers are making money reliably, predictably, and profitably. What changed? 2 words: dropshipping. Dropshipping explained. Dropshipping is a fulfillment method. Basically, you put up a website to attract traffic and buyers from the internet. They can find you through search engines or social media. When they find your store, they can see your products. If they like a product, they can click a button to order it. When that happens, it triggers software that orders from your supplier. Normally, this is a Chinese supplier from places like AliExpress. The customer doesn't see any of this. Instead, they make a payment at your website and start to wait for the product they ordered. Your website, on the other hand, automatically places their order to your supplier in China. The Chinese supplier then ships the order directly to your customer. It doesn't even pass through your hands. How nifty is that? You don't have to worry about warehousing, inventory handling, or most other fulfillment headaches. If there are any problems, exchanges and refunds are very easy. How come? Normally, the difference between the price drop shippers charge to customers in the United States and Canada is so big that they can absorb quite a bit of losses. How to get started as an online seller. There are 2 ways you can set up an online store. You can use a dedicated store using WordPress and WooCommerce. You can use a plugin to import products from your supplier at AliExpress. Personally, I would use a simpler option. I would use Shopify. Shopify is awesome because all the hosting is taken care of. You don't have to host your own online store. You can bet that its hosting infrastructure is safe and powerful. You don't have to worry about your website going offline. Also, Shopify supports all sorts of plugins, the most important being Oberlo. Oberlo works closely with AliExpress. So, when you do a search on Oberlo, you can find all sorts of products on AliExpress. Just select them with your browser and Oberlo will automatically populate your Shopify store with these products. Also, Oberlo will automate the ordering system. This is what sealed the deal for me. When somebody goes to my store and buys a product, the payment is processed through Shopify and my PayPal account is credited. At the same time, Oberlo will take the order details of that transaction and send it automatically to my source at AliExpress. My PayPal is then automatically charged, and I keep the difference.
Okay, we have come to the end of lesson 11. We enjoy and have fun of learning. The other thing that I forgot to mention about another topics about Shopify basically is the idea of how they process. I think you all understand. One of my video clip, you see how they do it. Let's say you have your own platform, marketing platform. You promote your sales and then you link up to Shopify, or they can even provide you a template of a platform. You don't have to worry about all this. Basically, when you get somebody to come and buy a product from you, and you will link to Shopify, and Shopify will arrange all the process. But they will first of all, they will deduct your credit card or whatever and the product, and then the rest they will handle by them by logistics and everything, whether it's linked to AliExpress or even Amazon and things like that. So whatever the product. So that is one way of getting through it without you worrying so much about problems and logistics support and everything. That's one method of doing this, how you handle all these things. Further of this, I think this is a very interesting topic. It's slightly longer than as you. So if you have the keen interest, just subscribe to my YouTube channel and give a thumbs up and tick the bell, and then further up you added more and more information that you need to know, all this sort of thing. What I did was I just highlight certain point that there are many ways of doing it when you're doing about e-commerce and everything. As you mentioned, WooCommerce and all this sort of thing. You can use Supplier, whatever it is. Basically, they have all the marketing tools that you don't have to worry so much. But obviously, you must understand, at the end of the day, your platform that you bring in customer to buy a product. But where do you get the customer? Obviously, you must have a customer. Without customer, you can't, you see, because supplier is doing the process of doing the system that you want through. At the end of the day, it's still customer. Of course, you just sit back and think carefully. Supplier is actually also building his own customer database. Every customer bring through him, he will have his database. So they're also building their own database. It will come a time they build more and more database. This is one method. Just to highlight this important point that in the online or digital marketing, there's certain point. But of course, we don't mind because I bring in the customer, he get the customer as well. So we don't mind about that. Right? So just to understand the process of this. So I hope you enjoy and have fun. And let me see you in the next lesson that I'll be talking about. Okay, thank you.